Hi, it's Russ from Pro Tools Expert, and we have some great news. It's an announcement on a number of levels, and that is firstly that Lindell are going to be doing plugins. And these are emulations of their own hardware in plugin form. So they're 500 series rack gear that's now in a plugin format. And they have a few extra features as well, in addition to what you get in the hardware. So there's 4 in total. There is 3 individuals, then all of them combined in a single rack called the Channel X. So what we have is we have the 1176 style compressor, we have the Pultec style EQ, then we have a nice kind of vintage style preamp which has high and low boost on it, and it also has a filter for low pass and a filter for high pass as well, with variable roll off up to 36 dB. Polarity switch, and then the analog switch helps you to get the original vintage hardware sound, which adds some noise and a bit of mains hum and stuff like that, and you can switch those on and off, depends how clean you want it to be. The 1176 style compressor has an input and output gain. It has attack and release in fixed modes, slow, medium and fast, and then it has a parallel mix as well, so we can go from dry to wet and do parallel compression via the insert. Then we have the gain reduction meters here. We have the ratio here, 4, 12 or 100, so basically brick wall. And then we have a side chain, so you can roll off the bottom end if you want, between 100 and 300. So if you don't want the kick drum, let's say a drum bus triggering it too hard, or on a bass guitar, you can switch that in and it will roll off some of the low end so it doesn't trigger it immediately. Then we have variable slow and fast and slower fast attack and release. Then you have a stereo link if you use it in stereo. Then we have a stereo or mono Pultec style EQ with attenuation and boost. We all know how that works if you've been used to Pultec style EQs. Then we have a high and low boost and attenuation. And we have a bandwidth control for the highs as well. For the high boost as well, you also have the high frequency there. It's also nice on this one is you have an MS mode, so you can use it in mid-side processing. Also an input pad, and again the analog switch if you want to use those. Down in Channel X, it's all of them bundled together in one channel. So you've got basically a 500 series channel strip in a plugin. Now, we'll talk about price later because they are remarkable value for money. They are far less expensive than you'd expect them to be coming from the Lindell stable. But I'm going to give you a show and tell on them one by one. So what I'm going to do is show you the Channel X first. So here it is on a bass guitar first. Now what's nice as well is you get unity gain on this preamp, so if you start pushing it to get more colour, you can see there we've got unity gain working, so it's, and we can switch that on or off if we want to. So we want it really clean. And as I say, we have an EQ built into this part as well if you want to use it there, but I'm not using it at the moment. But we've got high and low boost up to 16k, down to 6k on the high, then you've got 160 and 30 on the low, and again very nice EQ and a polarity switch as well there. Then we have the filters, which are really nice, and I'm using those a little bit just to roll off some of the low end on this bass. If we play that, I'm also going to put the side chain in on the compressor there, and we can mix that compressor. We can have all compressor or dry, but I'm using it in parallel mode. And I'm also using the variable release, so if we turn that off, then it would work here in the fixed attack and release time. So I'm using in variable there. Now if it was stereo, then I'd have the stereo link I can use as well, and at any point I can switch the analog on and off to give it more analog character. And finally I'm using the Pultec style EQ. Just give it a bit more character. There's the original. And off again. them back in again. Lovely character from this preamp in particular, and then the compressor's working nice, just to level it out a bit. And again, we're just on 4:1 ratio there, we're not hammering it to death. We're still getting quite a bit of gain reduction there because we're pushing it quite hard. So let me show you a couple of other things with the individual ones. So let me show you, I've got a drum bus here. Now in MS mode, for example, what we could do, we could push the top ends on the sides. And then on the mids, we could pull it down a bit. Or boost the mid. Boost the low, sorry. Or we could attenuate in the mid as well. And just use the MS just to give us some nice sheen on that top end. Then again the bottom, and we could just give it a bit more energy. And use the old Pultec trick and just a bit more roll off so it doesn't get a bit out of control. Of course we could broaden that EQ. Or narrow it as well. So let me show you on the acoustic guitars now. Here's a couple of acoustics using the 500s. Giving them some air. And a bit of attenuation on the bottom end there. And then the compressors. Little pumpy there. Drop that down to 4 if I wanted to. Make them a little less pumpy. Got some electric guitars here. I'm just using the Pultec style EQ on these. Just give them some energy at the top end. Clean up the bottom there. That's in. And out. So I've got it on some BVs as well. Here's the backing vocal tracks. This is where M&S works really well, because if you look at the mids, when I go to the mids, I'm taking a lot of the, I'm attenuating the center of the mid, but I'm keeping it in at the sides then. I'm pushing the sides out.
Life goes on. Living is gone.
So you can have two different settings. So
Life goes on.
I'm creating space for that lead vocal basically.
Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone. Yeah, life goes on.
So you can really carve out the center using the MS processing on the EQ. Let me play you the mix now. So I'm using it here on the mix as well.
Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone.
And again, I'm doing some parallel compression.
Goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone. Yeah.
Which is nice because it means I can get the mix under control without going over the top. So the dry is originally this.
Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill.
But by using parallel compression, I can get it under control.
Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone.
And on the 500 series Pultec, I'm using this to just to control a bit of that top end. Now again, because of the MS processing, what I could do is that I could go to the sides here and I could attenuate a bit more of the top end for things like you can hear the ride cymbal going.
Yeah, life goes on, even
Then I could use the mids just to make sure that the 5K sort of guitars and vocals are just pushing through nicely in the middle there.
Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone. Yeah.
And then also on the mid, I could put a bit more boost in.
Yeah.
On the bottom end, the Paul Tech trick.
Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone. Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone. Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill.
Let's hear that now.
Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living
And after?
is gone. Yeah, life goes on, even when the thrill of living is gone.
As you can hear, we've carved out a lovely centerpiece there for the vocal, which is often starts to get lost in a complex mix. So there we are. They are the new Lindell plugins, emulations of their own hardware. So as I say, we have Channel X, which is all of them together, the preamp with the filters, the 1176 star compressor with variable attack and release, and then finally the Paul Tech EQ that works both in mid and side and regular stereo mode as well. So that's how they look, that's how they sound. So the hot news is this: each individual plugin, the solo plugins, are just £59 each. Taxes will apply depending on where you buy them. The Channel X is just $149, and again taxes will apply depending on where you buy this. They are Mac and Windows compatible. You can download a demo from their website. You do not need an iLock. It's their own licensing system, and they're available now from Pro Tools Expert. So there we are, Lindell Audio making plug-in versions of their own hardware with some added extras. I'd check them out, download the demos, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.